In a crowded city filled with noise, traffic, and endless rushing people, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel worked harder than almost everyone he knew. Every morning before sunrise, he delivered boxes at a warehouse. During the day, he repaired phones in a tiny shop downtown. And at night, he drove an old motorcycle making food deliveries across the city. He barely slept. His hands were always tired. His back always ached. But no matter how hard he worked, he never seemed to move forward. At the end of every month, his money disappeared like water poured into sand. One evening, after a long, exhausting day, Daniel sat alone at a roadside food stand counting the few bills left in his pocket. Nearby, an old man was quietly drinking tea. The old man watched Daniel carefully and finally asked, "Why do you look so defeated at such a young age?" Daniel sighed deeply. "I work every single day," he said. "I work harder than my friends, harder than my neighbors, but I'm still struggling. No matter how much I earn, it never stays." The old man smiled gently. Then he pointed toward two men across the street. One man was carrying heavy cement bags on his back under the hot sun. The other man sat quietly inside a small shop while customers continued entering and leaving. The old man asked, "Which of those men do you think is making more money?" Daniel looked carefully. "The man carrying cement works harder," he replied. "Yes," the old man said softly, "but the other man built something that works even when he rests." Daniel frowned slightly. He didn't fully understand. The old man leaned closer and said words Daniel would never forget. "If you only work for money, you will work forever. But when your money begins working for you, your life changes." Daniel stayed silent. That sentence echoed inside his mind for days. The next morning, something changed. Instead of spending all his earnings immediately, Daniel began saving a small amount every single week. It wasn't much, sometimes only enough to buy a simple meal. His friends laughed at him. "Why save tiny amounts?" they mocked. "You'll never become rich that way." But Daniel continued quietly. Months passed. Then one day, Daniel noticed something. Near his neighborhood, there was only one small laundry shop, and people waited 4 hours to wash their clothes. An idea appeared in his mind. Instead of buying a new phone or expensive shoes like his friends, Daniel used his savings to buy one second-hand washing machine. At first, business was slow. Some days he earned almost nothing, but Daniel stayed patient. Every morning before work, he cleaned clothes for customers. At night, he delivered the finished laundry himself. Slowly, people began trusting him. One washing machine became 2. 2 became 4. Years passed. Daniel no longer delivered food on his old motorcycle. Now he owned a small laundry business with workers helping him. For the first time in his life, money continued entering his pocket, even while he slept. One evening, Daniel sat outside his shop, watching the sunset, and suddenly he remembered the old man's words, "If you only work for money, you will work forever." At that moment, Daniel finally understood. Wealth is not built by working harder alone. Real wealth is built when you create something that continues, working even when you are resting. Many people spend their entire lives chasing money, but very few learn how to make money chase them back. The truth is, mastering wealth is not about showing off expensive things. It is about patience, discipline, learning, saving, building, and planting seeds today that will grow tomorrow. A single seed may look small in your hand, but if you nurture it wisely, one day it becomes a tree that feeds generations. So if you truly want freedom in life, do not only ask, "How can I make more money?" Ask yourself, "How can I make my money work for me?" Because the day your money starts working harder than you, is the day your life truly begins to change.